Welcome to the Varsity 845 podcast. We're going to talk some Section 9 football here with Cornwall coach Ryan Baldock. Ryan led the Green Dragons to a state title in the 2019 season, undefeated season, one of the top programs in Section 9. And, at this time, Ryan, where things are a little you have to hunker down, stay at home. We just want to give people some hope here and just talk about sports to take their minds off things. And, I was, we're all on our phones, we're on social media, and saw that you guys were having virtual team practices, it seemed like. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's just, it's obviously a very challenging time right now for everybody. And, in our world where, you got to get used to seeing your kids every day in school and, every day in the weight room, and then all of a sudden you go to not seeing them at all. And it's like, it's a big change to a lot of people's daily routines, obviously. So, we've just been trying to stay connected with our guys as much as possible. Obviously right now everyone's, practicing social distancing and trying to, get this thing over with as quickly and as best as possible, so just trying to find creative ways to not lose those guys, not lose those relationships that you work so hard to build, inside a team, inside a program.
It was not too long ago that we were at Hudson Sports Complex, in Warwick, and it was the Golden 50 Invitational, where you had Section 9's top returning players, their top quarterbacks, receivers, and defensive backs on the field together. And it seemed like that was a great time for Section 9 football. And now, maybe a week later possibly, then, schools get closed and then you separate. So what has become your kind of new normal as a coach and just as a dad and that?
Yeah, how fast things change. You're right. It was exactly a week before, that weekend before. We had a great day over there, obviously in Warwick at the Hudson Valley Sports Complex, and and then obviously things kind of snowball, and this happens, and it kind of just throws everybody into a new normal, and obviously my day is probably a lot like a lot of other people's days right now. Spending a lot of time at home, and spending a lot of time, trying to occupy my time. The technology has been a great resource. You spend 4 or 5 hours a day, doing what you love still. So you're, instead of coaching football, you're reading up on football and, joining virtual clinics. And, I hosted a clinic, online on Sunday, so you just find other ways to still be involved in what you do.
Yeah, talk about hosting that clinic on Sunday. What was that like? And was it just high school football coaches? Was it just Section 9 coaches? What was hosting that clinic?
That was through the Football Coaches Summit. It's an online website basically. It's like free clinics for anybody that wants to log in. But it's I had I want to say there was about 1,300 people I think that viewed my clinic around the country. I had probably 30 or 40 guys reach out to me from around the country afterwards, following up with the clinic. So you're as a football coach, it's really a great fraternity of people that are willing to help one another. Everybody's in it. Everybody wants to see the game progress, and everybody wants to get better. And so basically, that's how that was run on Sunday. That I think a lot of guys right now are kind of using this extra time that you normally don't have, like I said, to try to still try to be involved with what you love to do, which is, coaching football.
Well, was there a specific topic of the clinic, or that you were?
I did a presentation on pin and pull. Yeah.
Nice. Now, how did you go about with the team practice, a virtual team practice? How did you do that? And talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I don't think we're we're not certainly by any means are we creating this on our own. But again, you talk to guys, you talk to other coaches, you follow Twitter, you try to get some ideas from people, and then you try to find the ones that kind of best fit your kids. Fortunately for us at Cornwall, we have some really committed kids, and so basically what we do is we've just been utilizing Huddle, which is our software program that almost every high school probably in the country uses for game film and things like that. And you're utilizing resources like Google Chat, Google Hangouts. whatever online, kind of video conferencing technology you can use, you're trying to use to maintain some normalcy for your players, or what is the new normal now,
Yeah.
And you go from having expectations of your kids being, your kids are your kids all year, and that doesn't change just because the situations change. Like, they're still your kids, so those kids, you got to give them ways to still be committed to the process. So we've been just trying to do virtual meetings, online meetings, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
We had a team workout the other day where basically we just streamed the workout, and the guys logged in and they all worked out together. So it was our way of quote unquote being together, when you can't physically be together,
Yeah.
And honestly, like the kids are so resilient. Like, they're so tech savvy that, for them, it's really more of a learning curve for us as coaches. Us old timers, I think it's harder for us, honestly, than it is for them, because
Yeah.
they have grown up in this technology, and for them it's really, it's not really that difficult for them.
By workouts, was it like, did everybody have a certain, like, was there a specific workout, or was this if you were in your house and you had weights?
Yeah, we basically followed like an at home workout that we utilize the company platform, which is an online based cloud based training program. But there's a bunch of them out there, obviously. But that's the one we utilize. And it's all the kids log in, they all do the same workout, they do it together. It's all body weight stuff, so you don't need any equipment. Because you don't know. Some kids might have a gym in their basement. Other kids might not have a single piece of exercise equipment at their house. So you gotta, it's pretty much all body weight stuff, and just trying to keep the kids, physically prepared for, if and when we do get back to some sort of normalcy.
Yeah. What was the participation like? Was it a good part of the team, or?
Yeah, we have very, like said, like we're very blessed. Our kids are extremely committed. Our kids take a great deal of pride in the program that's been created at Cornwall, and I think just like a lot of other programs around the state, you have kids that they care about it, so they don't want to see it go backwards. So they're going to do whatever you ask them to do.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's what's really carried Cornwall over the last decade or so, right? I mean, there's an expectation there, and it's good to hear that it doesn't stop with like what we're going through right now, because I think that's really a positive message to send to the athletes around. I see a lot of like videos where kids are doing what they can to stay in shape, and I mean, you got to take your mind off this, right? I mean,
yeah, I think that's another huge benefit of it. Like right now, people need, in my opinion, isolation, lack of interaction. It's not a good thing. So, the more connection you can have to a group, the more sense of a belonging. I think that's going to help people mentally. I think being active, obviously, the benefits of that are well noted in scientific journals and everything else. In terms of, you need to obviously need to be safe. You need to be smart about what you're doing right now. But exercising and a sense of belonging, I think, are huge components to us getting through this really tough adversity we're facing right now in this country.
Yeah, I was thinking today, I'm like, I remember talking to coaches at the clinic there, or the invitational, whatever you would like to call it. And I remember thinking about, okay, when's the Section 9 football schedule coming out, right? And that seems like so like obsolete. It sounds like I was going to log on today to see if anything was up there, but it's like, you know what? It just seems like so trivial right now. They just want to keep things as close together as a team that you can in football, and do what you can just to get by during this time, right?
Yeah, it's funny that you said it. Like, it's like, your priorities, I mean, your list of really what's important kind of gets really thrown a curveball there when something like this happens, You're right, though, about that. The schedule was the big talk. It always is every year, the anticipation of the schedule coming out. And then we really haven't talked about it because it really just, like you said, it's trivial compared to what we're dealing with right now in this country. But, like you said also, sports can be a great outlet. You know what I mean? Sports can give people hope. Sports can, obviously it goes beyond just entertainment factor. it really, I think, can be very uplifting. So, hopefully, hopefully these kinds of things that we're doing right now will give people a little bit of good in their day,
Yeah.
And I know for me, on a personal note, it's you try to put you got a little bit extra time on your hands, obviously, so you try to put it back into other things too that maybe you neglected a little bit. You know what I mean? Like whether it's your family or it's a personal hobby, like reading, getting back into reading some books and that type of stuff. But you gotta find things to kind of give you a reason to kind of carry on here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on Netflix too much, man. I don't think I don't think I fell asleep till after 3:00 in the morning.
Well, I don't know anybody that's not watching Tiger King right now, right? I heard that's like all the craze. I don't personally really watch TV, but
yeah.
I've heard I follow a lot of the football guys on Twitter, and they're all into this Tiger King show.
You know what? I've refrained from Tiger King. It's as soon as you turn on Netflix, it's the first click that they want you to watch, right? It might be top 10. I can't do it, man.
Yeah, like I said, we all have our ways of kind of filling our time, but it's definitely a challenging time. There's no question about it.
Yeah, no doubt. What would if we were in back to normal? What would you guys be doing right now in April? Would April be a time where there's lifting still, or where you be getting ready for 7-on-7s? Because the Camp of Champions.
Yeah, I mean, really, honestly, at this point in the year, typically, where we would have already played, we would have already had multiple 7-on-7s. We basically lift 4 days a week, every day, 4 days a week after school, and then we go outside for basically installs and skill development. It's definitely different right now. You're definitely not where you were, and you're not where you normally are at this point in time in the year because of everything that's going on. But again, you got to be adaptable, and we talked to our kids about it on day one, where everything we're facing right now is every season has its own bit of adversity. Obviously, you're going to be faced with certain adversities that you can't control. You look at our situation last year with losing Aiden. You can't control that. It happens. Unfortunately, what's going on right now in this country, it's out of our control. But it doesn't change the fact that we're anticipating having a football season come this fall. So at the end of the day, you've got to be ready to perform. So it's all about just being adaptable and understanding that if this is the new normal. You've got to make the best of the new normal. And just be prepared, because come September, when that ball gets put down, you're playing a football game. So it's definitely different. It's definitely different than our normal, April 1st or 2nd, looks like. But it is what it is, and again, you just can't make. It's not a time to make excuses, and you just got to find a way to get a little bit better each day.
No doubt. You can't wait till there is that day where things clear up, hopefully, and you can get back on the field just to throw the football and just get the kids together in a normal setting. And, we hope that happens sooner than later. And, Ryan, we appreciate your time for hopping on here. And just like we said, with these podcasts, we're just trying to get people's mind maybe off what's going on, and for a second on sports, and just people telling their stories. And we really appreciate you taking the time with us today, Brian.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you having me on, and stay safe, and God bless. And I hope obviously, like everybody else, I think we're all hoping for this to this thing to get kind of to an end here sooner rather than later.